Your day just got better.
Be less busy. Tips to being more productive without feeling so stressed out.
If you, the machine, are not working well, the rest of your life will fall apart.
Well, how many times have you said, I'm just too busy? It's almost like it's a crutch, right?
I know, but we all are very busy.
We are.
But with us today is Sabina Hitchin, and she's a business and motivational coach, and you have tips on how to be more productive and less busy. Is that right? Can we be less busy?
We do, and the thing is, people think there's a magic pill or a switch you can flick, but really the cool thing is there are strategies that you can learn, everyone listening today can learn and start doing right now, so they feel that like, I feel like I'm not rushing all the time. I'm not so busy. So we're going to give you those action steps today.
And it feels good to be productive.
Is it going to be about doing less or just being better with how we do things in our time?
It's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. And we're going to start out, there are bad habits you need to break right away.
Okay.
And so the first thing you need to do is you need to do a time log. Sort of like if you're trying to lose weight, you keep a journal of what you're eating and you instantly stop eating the bad things.
I do that.
So do a time log of what you're wasting your time on, where you're spending your time, where your peak productivity time is. And the thing is, once you start keeping that time log, you're going to start changing some of your bad habits.
So, like, you sit down to do something and you start shopping online.
Exactly.
Do you notice the time and you just put down the time?
Yeah, and
that's
the thing
how you do
is,
it.
once we're told to start writing it down, you're like, oh my God, I've been on Facebook for 45 minutes or
Right.
something. So you start seeing it. The second thing is my favorite, so I love to bring it up and highlight it. It is do the hardest things on your list first.
Oh,
Give us an example. Give us an example of what you mean.
Like, no matter if you are a stay-at-home mom or working in an office, there are things you want to avoid. So whether it's taxes or going to spin class or doing the laundry, whatever it is on your list, the thing is, if you don't want to do it, you'll start creating work instead of doing that. So you're going to add more and more hours of work to your day. Be honest, it happens. So what we say is,
totally
just
guilty.
do it. And the other thing is, if you don't do that, if you don't attack that first, I always say anxiety pitches a tent in your head, and it hangs out there in your subconscious. But once you do it, you realize it wasn't that hard in the first place, and you feel really good, and you're saving time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so we need to make a time log.
Yeah.
And we need to do the hardest things on our list first. What about getting things off of our list so we just don't have to do them? Your second strategy is about just saying no to
Learning
things.
to say no. That is a really hard lesson, but the most important lesson in life, I think, to learn. So it's in 3 easy steps. The first thing you want to do is say no like the way you'd shake someone's hand. Firm, polite. If you're in person, look them in the eye. What you don't want to do is make excuses or tell lies about why you can't do something. The second thing you want to do is, before you even consider something, ask yourself, is this going to make me personally happy? Or is this going to further me professionally? And if it doesn't do either of those things, it's an easy no for you. You know there's no reason for you to be doing that.
Right.
I like to put myself in that position, like if you get invited to something, like, okay, how am I going to feel on that Saturday night after I've worked all week to drive 2 hours to something or whatever?
Exactly. And the last step in that equation when you're trying to say no is, before you answer somebody, we are in this instant gratification kind of world. We feel like we have to say yes right away. We're Instagramming, we're texting, we're tweeting. You need to take a pause and don't give them an answer right away. Say, I'll get back to you later, or let me check my schedule. I call it like a baby step to no. So if you're not there yet where you can just say no, then you're going to give yourself a little bit of a window to then say no. And the thing is, because Rebecca, you said you're getting really good at it, JD, once you start doing it like anything, it becomes a habit. You start repeating it, even when it's hard, then it becomes part of who you are, and people respect you more because you're honest with them. Instead of you do that task and you start resenting people because you don't want to be there, and then you're just unpleasant anyways.
I blame my wife for everything. I'm always like, well, I would do that, but let me check with my wife and get back to you. That's my baby step to know.
That's great.
Anyway, we got to take a quick break, but there's more. Yeah.
Right? So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll hear the third strategy.
We are talking to Sabina Hitchin, and we just learned 2 great strategies to help us be less busy. And now Sabina's going to share one more strategy with us. So let's get to it. What can we do to control our lives a little better?
we need to become the master and commander of our own time, because when you can control your schedule and your time, really, it sounds like it's an exaggeration, but you can control your life. So what we need to do, we need to start out by eliminating interruption from our life, which is sometimes the hardest of all these steps we're sharing with you. But easy ways you can do that. You can stop letting your email pop onto your screen when you're working, you know, those little reminders, because you get distracted and you take your mind out of focus. Or stop checking your phone and your Instagram and your Twitter and your Facebook every 5 seconds. Turn your ringer off on your phone, because we get interrupted on average of 8 times an hour as people, which can lead to hours of lost work a day, and then you wonder why you have no time and you're stressed out. So eliminate those interruptions however you can. That's the first step.
Okay, I like that idea, because if I set aside a time and say, look, I'm going to go on Facebook at this time, deal with everything, have my fun, and get off, that's one thing. But if I go on every 2 minutes, every time it dings, I lose my whole day.
It's horrible.
Right.
And the world will not stop if you don't check your phone every 5 seconds. If there's an emergency, someone will find you, but most of your emails are not emergencies. They're taking you away from your focus.
Okay.
I know. And you have a life. You know, you have a life.
Exactly. It's offline, hopefully. The second thing you want to do is create your to-do list the night before. I think you do this as well.
Big list maker,
I do this.
You need to, people say, why the night before? But that's when you're sort of calmed down. You can make your to-do list strategic, and you aren't in the morning then freaking out trying to, like, get your kids dressed, get yourself to work, do your hair, and figure out what order you're going to do things in. Successful people start their day with a really good to-do list, and you just work down that list with your hardest things first.
And by the way, you sleep better. You sleep better because you don't lay in bed worried about all the things you have to do, because you know
you have it written down. You have it written down. That's a big thing.
You feel so much better. And the last thing also makes you feel so much better on our list, and that is you need to take time for self-care. I always say a little bit of self-care goes a long way.
Yeah.
And so you need to find time in your schedule every day, no excuses, to take care of yourself, because if you, the machine, are not working well, the rest of your life will fall apart. My mom used to say, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy. And that's
true. It's true. You have to do that.
Or daddy.
Or daddy. No,
or daddy.
But mommy, happy wife, happy life. We know that one. We know that one.
That's so true.
Sabina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So good to be here.
Really good information.
Yes.
Definitely check all that stuff out.